Hey, you guys. Thank you for being here. No cards, no cards. I don't actually need cards to do a reading, especially this type of reading. And I wasn't planning on doing a reading tonight at all. I actually had plans tonight. I definitely have plans tomorrow during the day. But I had plans tonight and I canceled because I was at the gym and I was getting all these downloads. And behind my right and left eye socket was pain and my ears were ringing. And that only happens to me when I'm getting really hit energetically with downloads or if it's a connection directly related to someone else. And so it was pretty intense for me. And so I canceled my plans. And that was it. I'm going to do something a little different tonight. I think many of you will like it. Some of you will be turned off by it because you need cards, you need Queen of Wands and King of Swords and all that bullshit to energetically connect. And there's actually a disconnect with that. And the disconnect is that not only do the cards hold all the values of us, we all have Queen of Wands in us, we all have Queen of Cups in us, we all have Page of Swords in us, we all have Justice in us, we all have the Magician in us. It disconnects us from the roots of what we're all here to do. The roots of what we're all here to create. So one of the things I want to talk about with all of you is how to energetically awaken your intuition more. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to get into, Christy, Mindy, Betty, and Anna, okay, which are metaphors for what I'm going to talk about. So I've talked about this. I've been vegan for 18 years, just celebrated my 18th birthday of being vegan, but I'm not a bullshit eater vegan. I'm a green salad, fresh pressed juice, all kinds of juice, even fresh OJ. Today I had like strawberry juice with coconut water and things of that nature. I don't limit it to just greens. But I harvest my own spring water and I don't eat bullshit. I don't eat sweeteners unless it's green leaf stevia, which is a cancer preventative. I don't eat a lot of packaged foods. If it is, it's like a splurge for me, and it's always vegan and gluten-free. And that is a way to open your intuition. Eating clean will open your intuition. And if anyone tells you differently, they're full of shit. I've heard a lot of readers say, oh, vegan bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to say they don't know what they're talking about. And here's why. The third eye cannot open while still eating pork. Fact, fact, fact. We cannot energetically expand while still consuming dead, decomposing animals and all of that. Okay? Now I'll admit there are some vegans that go the wrong way in the vegan movement, but that's another story. They don't explain themselves right. But I want to talk for a second about some downloads I was getting, and they were coming so fast that I almost grabbed a piece of paper and a pen, but I never usually write down things. But let's take Anna, Mindy, Christy, and Betty, okay? And I'm going to tell a little story about each one of them. And we'll just see if you guys can relate, okay? Let's take Christy, okay? Now, Christy's in a situation, right, where she's in a relationship. Could be a marriage, could just be a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. By the way, if you're homosexual, this can be you. You know who the feminine and who the masculine is. And Christy, she's in a relationship, and Christy's masculine, the masculine partner of Christy's, like I said, could be a bisexual relationship, homosexual relationship, or it could be a normal relationship. Christy's partner pays all the bills. Christy's partner pays all the bills. They live together, right? For some of them, they're married, You know who you are if you're a Christy, okay? Now, Christy had a couple kids when she met her. I always use the word man-panion. That's my favorite word whenever I get a significant other. He becomes the man-panion, right? I don't use that word lightly. So the man-panion of Christie's pays all the bills, right? And they live together, etc. And this is going on right now. This isn't something in the past. This is present moment, okay? So it's widely known, Christy's in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. Christy had a couple kids, Christy met someone, and all of a sudden the bills were paid. Now, every once in a while, Christy's partner picks up on something she's doing wrong and points it out to her. She didn't clean in the corners. She didn't wipe down the light switch. She didn't dust the one entryway table. She forgot that. There's some crumbs on the floor. And every once in a while, Christy is also put in her place by her partner because, there's a gentle reminder that Christy won't be able to make it on her own, according to her partner. So Christy, Christy's a smart girl. She's a very smart girl. And she knows in her heart, that that's not true, right? So Christy, every once in a while, Christy's partner goes out. This is every once in a while and gets drunk with a friend or something like that. And so Christy's very smart. Christy gets in his wallet and she takes a $20 bill, sometimes a $50 bill, and she puts it where she knows he won't look. She puts it in where her little cleaning supplies are because she's got to keep the house perfectly clean, right? She puts it in a bottle, an empty, bottle of, if it was me, I use like Myers and all the organic, non-toxic cleaning shit. Hell, I don't know, maybe Christy does too. So she rolls this money up and she puts it in the bottle. The bottle's empty, of course, because Christy's smart enough to empty the bottle. She's also smart enough to know that this masculine would never lift a finger. So she puts it where he wouldn't look, right? And one day, Christy has enough to up and, get the fuck out of Dodge, right? Excuse my language. That's Christy. She takes her kids with her and she leaves. Now she loves the guy, but the guy's putting her down and she knows it. And she doesn't want her, maybe she has daughters or something, She doesn't want her daughters growing up witnessing her being idly, ever so often, put in her place, so to speak. That's Christy. Super Chats is on, you guys, and also the like button is always welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Let's get into Betty. Okay, Betty. Betty, I like that name. It's an old school name, and I really like that name, Betty. It's like Betty Crocker, Maybe Betty knows how to cook. She probably makes really good bread or something. The person that's asking for my advice on that, thank you very much. You might want to get a private reading because this is a little different. It's kind of like story time. But thank you. Very sweet. So let's talk about Betty. Okay, so Betty. I really like Betty. I like Betty's energy. I think Betty's funny. I think Betty loves her mom. I think Betty has a couple kids. She might even have 3. Have a piece of wood that just caught on fire here, so you'll hear that flicker. Betty's a good person. Betty gets her housework done. Betty is smart. She's funny. Betty likes to do the crossword puzzle. And Betty's married. And, Betty's husband, he lays his hands on her. And so Betty knows, maybe one of the kids is like 3, one of them's like 6 or 7, one of them's probably like around 10. Okay, well, this is going to cause a fire. Just blow this one out right here, you guys, excuse me. So, Betty gets her housework done. Betty also works. Betty picks up the kids at the bus stop, drops the kids off at the bus stop. Betty packs their lunches. Betty makes her husband's lunch. Betty drives her husband's lunch to him every day, and she's shaking because she knows if it's late, she might get slapped or something like that, right? So Betty knows that, at some point, Betty's going to have to go, right? And every time she has to go, she gets pregnant or something, some shit happens like that, where she's stuck for another, 2 years or whatever. But Betty knows very early on that she's going to have to get the fuck out of there, right? So Betty takes a different approach. She doesn't plan. There's no way. We'll call her husband Earl. I'm pulling old school, like 1940 names. Betty knows that there's no way to escape Earl. There's no hiding money in the cleaning bottle like Christy did, right? So Betty's like, okay. Those of you who are just tuning in, you might want to watch from the beginning. Betty's like, okay, I'm just going to have to, I'm just going to have to up and leave. So Betty has like a cousin who has an empty property, and Betty takes the kids one summer and files from a divorce, and that's it. Betty's on the move. She cuts corners where they need to be cut, and she makes a decision really for her kids, and she bails. Betty's super strong, right? We all know a Betty, right? Betty's the kind of person that has like, maybe she develops a habit later in life and cuts the habit out like that. Cut and dry. There's no going back with Betty. Betty must have either some Scorpio in her chart, might be a Cancer, something like that. Leo somewhere. Let's talk about Mindy. Let's talk about Mindy. Okay. We all know a Mindy, all right? Let's talk about Mindy. We all know a Mindy. I know Mindy, you know Mindy. Mindy's the girl that we all have as a friend, right? We tell all our business to her because Mindy's a good sounding board. She's a single gal, she might have a roommate or something. She might have a lot of air in her chart, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Mindy doesn't have any kids. Mindy may have had an abortion or something. Mindy's Mindy's got the gay roommate or the roommate, Mindy gets around. Mindy goes to the bar on Friday. She gets hammered. Yet on her social media, it's about her traveling the world. It's about her how should we say this? Her spiritual expansion. It's about growth, a lot about abundance, a lot of writing that she's pulled from other people. That's Mindy, right? Mindy has a lot of guy friends because she thinks like a guy, Mindy's a man's woman, right? Mindy's also slept with all her friends, right? Mindy is looked at as a great person by men. She's got her stuff together. She's this, she's that, she's that. But Mindy's a little bit of a whore, let's face it. Now, Mindy is, let's say Mindy's she's headed towards her 30s, okay? And Mindy wants to settle down and have a couple kids. For some of you, she's in her 30s. Now, Mindy didn't take the road that like Christy or Betty did, right? Where they chose someone, maybe made the wrong decision, and had their kids, but they're loyal, honest, good people, made a couple mistakes. But Mindy actually held off because she wanted to work on her career, but in the process, she's giving her energy away to everyone. So she's very energetically tattered. She's very energetically parceled off in different directions, so to speak, right? A guy meets Mindy and thinks, okay, she's decent looking, she's got a good body, she takes care of herself, she pays her own bills, she's good in bed. But why aren't I into her? Well, because everybody's had a piece of Mindy. Mindy's been everywhere. For some of you, Christy, not Betty. Betty's old school. Betty met her love in high school and got together with him. Betty's very loyal. But for some of you, Christy is that Mindy, right? Some of you, Christy and Mindy kind of, Christy was the same way until anyway. There's Mindy. So what Mindy really needs to work on is herself and her childhood and maybe past life issues that make her feel that the only thing she has to give is her body. Right? Because I don't know about you guys, but with me, you're going to be waiting it's like a year. The first time you messaged me will have been like 9 years ago and you might get laid. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Anna. Anna. I like Anna. Anna can get herself into some trouble. She's got a mouth on her, right? Anna is kind of I know you guys hate when I cuss because it's so unladylike. So this will be the last curse word I say. I promise for 10 days because a lot of you like when everything is love and light, okay? And actually in my life right now, things are extremely love and light. I bought a new dress today, had a facial, went to the gym, had a friend come over, made a juice, walked the dog. But sometimes love and light is bullshit. And so I'm going to be a part of me that some of you don't like, and you'll just have to like it for tonight or you can log off. Okay. So Anna is the 0 fucks kind of woman. She gives 0 fucks. Anna gives 0 fucks about what you think about her. She gives 0 fucks about what your mother, she probably wants your mom to like her because Anna respects her elders. Anna is kind of a ride or die person. You might have Scorpio in her chart. She'll be there with you through thick and thin. But Anna's also the person that everybody knows you don't piss off. Now, Anna has a very sweet demeanor. She's very kind. She's very loving. Anna cries in the sad part of the movie. Anna wants the homeless to have homes. Anna wants to save the animals. Anna wants to stop the horse races. Anna wants to not have cosmetics tested on animals. Anna's a good person. But somewhere, somehow, someone that's a little bit stronger than Anna, just a little bit, or was stronger than Anna at one time, did something really, 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 really fucked up to Anna. So Anna knew in order to exit herself from a situation, she had to become a little bit, just a tiny little bit, a little bit meaner than the person that didn't want to let her go. Now let's talk about the person that didn't want to let her go. We'll call him, let's think of a random name. We'll call him like Jacob or something, right? Jacob. I always like that name. Now Jacob wanted to always put Anna down, right? Very, very ever so gently, kind of like the Christy thing, ever so gently. under his breath a little bit. He never really pushed her around, maybe once, you know. That was probably her cue to like escape. So Jacob was fine as long as Anna was waiting on him. He was fine. He could go off, do whatever he wanted, whatever. But then the moment he realized that Anna was back in the game, the moment he realized Anna could take care of herself, the moment he realized Anna was getting a little too much power, the moment he realized Anna was growing a little too much, he felt like he needed to knock her down continuously. So Anna, although Anna has a lovely heart, a giving heart, a beautiful heart, a kind heart, a knowledgeable mind, a beautiful mind, a brilliant mind, Anna knew that every single step she made to further get away from this Jacob, she would need to totally do it on the DL. And she might have to take a few paths along the way that weren't exactly the best. Because there are certain people in the world that will only want you to succeed if you are with them. I'm going to say that again. And this is something that you really need to examine in your own life. Especially some of you who are male who may tune into this, you need to really examine this. In life, there are certain people that will only want you to get ahead if you are with them. These people can go off and have 12 kids with someone else, but they will still be all over your shit on the internet. They will still be that fake account on your social media. They will still be that person that every time you do something great and you're going on the local news to present, that will email the local news after you go on and tell them, what a horrible person you are. Here's a picture of her, 20 years ago where she posed topless or whatever. There are certain people in life that will only want you to succeed if you are with them. Now, here's the thing with, what did I call him? Jacob and Anna. At some point, Anna gets fed up and she does a little investigating about who is really behind all the bullshit that's rolling her way, and she finds out. And that's when Anna sits quietly, for like a period of like 30 days or something, waiting for that apology to come through. And remember, Anna was the one that was very sweet. She's a very loving person, but you don't want to fuck with her. That's all, you guys. That's all I wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed this, and I think that you'll find yourself in any one of these characters, Anna, Mindy, Christy, Betty, Jacob, right? Little story time, little different, maybe a little weird, right? Maybe a little dark for some of you, but I think a number of you will find a similarity somewhere in there. And let me tell you something. I really like Betty a lot. Betty got up and out of her situation. She didn't want to have to deal with a Jacob later in life. I really like Christy a lot because Christy's smart and she's smooth and she's putting the money in the cleaning bottle, right? I really like, and of course, if you're married, if you're happy, there are good relationships. Trust me. I was in a great relationship for 10 years. There are excellent relationships. I was in a great relationship for 1 year. I was in a, there are excellent relationships out there. Somewhere along the way, though, if you're not in a long, like 25-year marriage or something like that, marriage for life, which is really what we're all looking for, right? We're looking for that ride or die person that's going to be there for us. Somewhere along the way, you're going to meet someone who does not want the best for you. And this is what this video was for. Because coming from a person who has had all good relationships, except, maybe two, and one I still have love in my heart for, we fought a lot, but he's an okay person. But I will tell you, you will meet someone along the way that will not be out for your highest good. And it will be brought to your attention when you least expect it. You could have been broken up with them for years and find out something and be like, oh my God, why did I not put two and two together? A lot of us are going through that as a collective right now. We know that someone's childhood wounds learned, when they were children, the way their mother didn't pay attention to them, or the way their father was, the breadwinner, but a dick, or the way they're, whatever happened. We know that they saw us as that person and were extremely vindictive, probably after we walked away in some capacity. And when you find that out, you sometimes have to become an Anna for a little while, just to let someone know that the fuckery is over, right? I don't want to make this a personal thing, but I have had someone push a lot of buttons in my life. Someone that told me, I will ruin you on the internet. Quote, who is in the internet field and has connections in the internet field. And this was someone that I never thought would do this. And now that I have proof, like actual proof, that he has trampled through my relationships, trampled in my businesses, just consecutively, everything I ever created, trampled in, going so far as to write letters to people who interviewed me on podcasts after they interviewed me, sending email attachments of photos I took 20 years ago. I will tell you that once that happens to you and you find out who did it, and you know for a fact, because for a long time I didn't know, right? I was in the dark. I actually went to this person with the fucking problem. Actually went to this person with the fucking problem. Yes, I did. I went to this asshole with the problem. Once you find out that something like that has happened to you, you're going to become an Anna. And what Anna does is Anna sits for about this length of time, just a little bit. And she maps out her next steps legally. And then she moves forward on them. So if you're a Jacob, Hail Marys, right? Hail Marys, J, Cub, repentance, pray to Mary Magdalene. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Cyber stalking laws are deep these days, especially when there's proof. Slander runs deep these days, especially when there's proof. Illegal spying runs deep these days, especially when there's proof. Interfering in someone's personal life by emailing partners, plural, every partner they've had since you, is harassment, especially when there's proof. And why I didn't go back to that exact year and realize that nothing started before that year is beyond me. And why I didn't backlink all the email addresses is beyond me. But now there's proof. So to all the Jacobs in the world, and there's a lot of this going on right now that's getting wrapped up because we ended a really bad karmic cycle of like a 9-year cycle. There's a lot of this going on. A lot of things are coming to light in this retrograde period. And the what was it? The full moon, was it in Capricorn we had? Whatever that was. A lot of things came to light. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. Obviously, there's some stuff going on right now, and yeah. Someone just made a comment. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Yeah, there's a lot of laws out there. The attorney I'm working with, who, thank God, practices in more than just the state of California, he's really enlightened me to, put it this way. There is so much, I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. When an attorney offers to take a case pro bono because you've got so much evidence against someone, that is, and I've never once stepped foot in a courtroom other than a traffic ticket. Not once. Not once. So I would suggest to any of you who have been through a similar situation as I've gone through, like severe harassment from someone. It's really, 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 really bad. And this, look, you guys, you won't find any pictures of me with this person on the internet. This is not someone recent. This is not, a person I was with in the last 5 years. So please don't point fingers at anyone, because you'll be pointing a finger in the wrong direction. And I just want to say that. But, I will tell you, if any of you have been through this, there are laws to protect you, and some of you actually might get protection on a grand scale. You might even get restitution for it. So, and I don't know why someone would want to do this that has so many damn IRS problems either. That's a whole nother story. My God. I would think that you would want to be on the right side of the law, J, Cub, but apparently not. So you guys, 2020, right here, we got 2020. I'm going to let you go. And I love each and every one of you. And if you guys have gone through some of the same things, let me read some of your comments. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, this has gone on for years. This is something that it's like one of those things like until you don't know, and you just know someone really is against you. And you kind of put the timeline together and realize, huh, I broke up with that person that year. And now every boyfriend I've had after him has gotten either a letter or an email, with this attachment. This person went so far as to create websites and put really old photos of me on them and just make up lies. This person tried to get me thrown out of my home. This is some serious shit. This person would write people that interviewed me on podcasts, that had me on the local news, etc. Right after I would go on. It was bad. It's been years of harassment, and I never said anything. And I think what brought it out and what made me really start investigating it severely is I met another person that actually was really good friends with one of this person's friends. And it made me totally pull away from the person I had met. It made me totally freeze up. Like I didn't even want to be around the person. I was just like, I would see the person. Like I really, 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 really liked the new person, but I would see them and I would act like I didn't even see them because it was like every time, like I associated that person with that old person that I knew was behind all this harassment. And I didn't want to be associated with the same like marketing group, type. I just didn't want to be associated with it. So I actually feel better now that I vented publicly about this. I'm really trying to let the person say something. And that's all. Don't let something like this like get to you too long. For me, it was just a mystery I was trying to figure out since 2013. And now that I have actual factual proof and someone else that knows firsthand, it's been a big weight lifted off my shoulders that I am handing back to this person, literally with a big fucking bow on top. Like, here is your bullshit karmic, here's your retro, like, take it. Like, here's your energy back. I was love and light for far too long dealing with this. And this person knows it. They're going to be at church tomorrow on their knees. They know it, especially when I start publicly name dropping, they're going to know it because this person so cares about what people think. So cares about what people think. So cares what people think. Most marketers do. But hey, I give zero fucks. So I hope you guys are have a good night. And like I said, don't worry about me. I'm actually fine. Got my house clean today. It's all spickety span. I'm gonna go upstairs and soak in a beautiful bathtub. And I had a beautiful, beautiful time making juice for a friend today. And my doggies need clean tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to hit my yoga mat tomorrow. And I got some of the videos out, but I did want to bring that to your I did want to bring that to your attention because this has been something that has bothered me for quite a long time. It really but there's something about letting things go too. But I don't think there's been so much damage done reputation wise because of this, and lies made up, like real severe lies, that I don't think I'm willing to let it go. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't think I'm willing to let it go at all. And I have an attorney trying to push me to move forward on it, but it's not like I want anything from the person. The person doesn't have anything. And but it's time. And like I said, you will not find any photos of me with this person. It's not just because he was so short. You just won't find anything of me. I took everything down. And this is an old situation. It's just that sometimes people won't want you to move forward in life unless you are with them. They won't want to see you do good unless you are with them. And I'm proud to say that every other person I've ever been with has wanted to see me do good in life with or without them. And I have wanted the same for them. My last boyfriend wants me to do good in life. The guy I was seeing recently on and off, I'm sure, wants me to do good in life. I want the same for them. The guy I spent 10 years with, he wants me to do good in life. Like, there's so many, there's so many great relationships out there that end gently. But every once in a while, you will get someone that will really attempt to do some damage. And sometimes they're successful at it. And that's when you don't become a doormat and you actually rise up. And yeah, so this was a personal vendetta. This wasn't something that was random. This was a personal vendetta. It was very personal. Very, 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 very personal. And they know it. The guy knows it. And I'm fortunate that someone around him knows it. And I'm fortunate that he made a few hiccups with an email address or two. And I am fortunate of the timing of things. And I'm fortunate that the handwriting, we had a woman that looked at all the emails and things and did an analysis of like the wording and the way things were spelled and things like that. And I'm fortunate that his abbreviations of certain words all matched up. So if you have someone that has harassed you for an ongoing time for years and years and years, there are ways of finding out and getting proof and seeking restitution or seeking a fucking apology. And if they don't, you become Anna. And Anna's a force to be reckoned with. And that's all. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.